Each week, Val and Amber predict what's ahead for England and the royal family. In the August 30th episode, Val predicts breaking news on the exact date.
Let's turn to Princess Catherine, September 9th. She might be planning something on television. She and Prince William are working together on it.
10 days later, on September 9th, a royal video drops. Last May 24th.
And maybe with their kids. There's that Six of Cups that always comes out.
On the September 6th episode, Val spots trouble for a royal.
The chart that I drew for this week, Mercury is right on that Regulus, the head. Royals should not be riding around on horses.
Hours later, a royal falls off a horse.
Is time for royal revelations. Hope you guys are doing well. You asked me, excited for this. Val, did you watch Princess Catherine intimate update on finishing her chemo? Yes, we're going to talk about that. I do not have Amber with me today. Unfortunately, she is taking some much needed time off. So we hope she's doing well. I think she's tuning in and listening. So we'll see her next week. I do have some charts and some cards that are going to give you chills. So stay tuned. We're going to talk a lot about Harry. And I promised you guys that I was going to look at Catherine and King Charles before. I didn't get around to it, so I'm going to do it this time. So thanks for being patient with me. If you're just joining me for the first time, this show is all about how to make predictions in your life using various astrological charts. We can forecast events in our own lives by watching the Astrology of England and the royal family. So if you don't really care about royal family predictions, then you can still follow along and learn some things about how to make your own predictions. Thank you, TJ. Connie, nice to see you from Mississippi. I know, tea time. I have been forgetting my my cup lately. So for ad-free content, click the join button and get our predictions with no interruptions. A special thanks to the valedictorians, the members who make this content possible. We are live every Friday at 4:30 Eastern, 9:30 p.m. BST England time. Now, I have I just want to make a quick announcement. I've got 2 basic astrology courses. By the way, those are my books on Amazon, but check out my website, astrologywithval.as.me. And let me just bring up the banner. These 2 classes I'm going to be teaching with Amber. We're going to be talking about astrology together for 90 minutes. It is going to be a lot of fun. She's going to teach us some tarot techniques and also how the tarot cards they go along with the astrology often. So we're both going to show you how to make your own predictions, even if you only know basic astrology. So there's my website. And also I redid my prices for my readings. So you guys are going to be shocked. So check it out. Now, and that's through the Halloween season because it's my favorite holiday. Now, because I'm a moon in Scorpio, people. Now, enough about me. I wanted to get started with some cards I pulled before the show after I saw Prince Harry's solar return chart. I guess I wasn't really focused on him recently. Now that he's going to be 40, he's going to turn 40 on Sunday. It's a big, big moment for him. He's going to get his 8.5 inheritance, $8.5 million inheritance. Don't you love it that it's 8? 8 is the Scorpio number. And so people with birthdays this month are going to be dealing with Mars and Cancer. And it's going to be, in some cases, in a square. So it can mean that there's angry energy around you. But if it's in a trine, you will have helpful energy. So something to take a look at when you're looking at your solar return chart. Are you guys ready for some charts? I'm going to try to make them simple so you guys can you don't cross your eyes because it's easy to do. I was looking at Prince Harry's chart and I was like, okay, what is this that I'm seeing? And the first card that came out was a reverse, the Ace of Pentacles, meaning that, and I was specifically looking at something that looked like a friend. And it looked like a fight. It looked like something that was unpleasant to me. So this could mean something that has to do with a contract with Prince Harry and a friend or a contact. And it might not work out. And there's going to be a lot of anger. I have a feeling maybe on the side of the friend. So I was asking, well, can you give us a clarifier card? And then I got the Three of Wands. And every time I see this girl with the surfboard and the two, the fire, it's a lot of California energy. I mean, look at that surfboard. So I wonder if it has something to do with, I don't know, Montecito or something. He is going to get that money. I mean, he's entitled to that money. If he didn't, I'd be mad if I were him. So, not sure, but let's look at his solar return chart. If you want to pull your own solar return chart, go to AstroSeek and you're going to pull your birth chart. You can do it a couple of ways. One way to do it is once you're looking at your birth chart, go to the top right, click solar return, the year of the last birthday that you had. So you haven't had your birthday yet, you're clicking 2023 and then click solar only. That's the tab up there in the top left. Now, here is Harry's solar return. And what you want to do is you want to look at the ascendant. And he's a Cancer rising this year. He's going to be feeling like a Cancer rising, which is nice because that is Meghan's, Duchess Meghan's rising sign natally. So they're both kind of on the same page when it comes to that. And so we would look at where the moon is, and the moon is going to rule that chart. And wow, right next to part of fortune, you want to see something like this. You want to see your chart ruler, in good aspect. And it looks like it's in a very, very strong, grand trine. Thank you so much, Inga. Very sweet of you. That's a little cross there with a circle. That's the part of fortune. I like to look at that. I want to find out what's going on in the 8th house. This is other people's money. This is a money from a contract. So something like a new employment contract. Money is coming in and he is super, super successful this year. And very, very good news. So that in itself is a good birthday present. Notice that moon is slightly past Pluto. Moon and Pluto is very, very famous. Whatever he's doing is the public, they're obsessed about it. They want to find out more about it. They're interested. Now, what I thought was really interesting was that the moon, the ruler of Harry's solar return chart, starting on his birthday, so that's going to be on Sunday, it is in Aquarius. So Aquarius is a visionary, somebody who is thinking way ahead of everybody else. It is data. It is bringing to light data, maybe other people's data. We see this a lot with crime charts where it's like, what is that Aquarius? There's so much Aquarius. Well, the police aren't giving up the Apple tag data or something like that. So this could be data where he is very, very successful in gathering data. Wouldn't that be great if the data that he needed in order to bring certain cases forward against the news, maybe, somebody's giving him data of some sort. But Aquarius, generally, when you have planets either natally or in the solar return chart, and they're kind of in a cluster, which they sort of are right here, this is so much visionary type of, it's a superpower. It's like, well, okay, we have all of this, but are we thinking about this? And the person is thinking years ahead of time. And there's also a possibility that he might be talking to visionaries too, like the Bezos, the people who are the visionaries. So he's really in ground zero in Montecito, where the best of the best play around. Not all of them, but that's where they tend to go. Good news for Prince Harry. Okay, so this makes it a little bit more complicated, but I put the calendar down for him. He starts his solar return on September 15th. My God, he's got Mars right there in Cancer, right on the ascendant. And this is in a big T square. So, ouchie, this is the North Node right here and in that big T square. What do we see here? Black Moon Lilith. And last night on my live, I was talking about how with the South Node and Black Moon Lilith, this is very, very devious energy. Not saying it's coming from Harry, Prince Harry, but being stuck in something that you can't get out of, that you've got to do something evil to get out of it, possibly. This could be seen as Harry's doing this, or it could be that Harry's dealing with someone right in front of him. Why is it right in front of him? Because the apex of this T square is in his first house. The first house is what's around you. What is around you all year? With Mars in there, and it's in Cancer. So Mars in Cancer doesn't do so well. It's like this can mean fighting. It can mean military. It can mean war. And what is happening? This is September 15th to October 15th. Prince Harry is on fire. He's stuck. He's dealing with an evil person. And why do I say that it is a friend? It could be an evil friend. Because if he had his birthday, and I'm assuming he's going to have his birthday in Los Angeles on Sunday, the 11th house of friendships, of hopes and dreams, and networks, ruled by Mars. So, just make it simple. It's a friend. And it is a friend that is bad and right in front of him. So this is geographically too. Could it be his neighbor? Let's see. The third house is the sun. So of course they're going to have kings living around them. Third house is your neighbor. Where's the sun? Yeah, the sun doesn't look so great either, because it's all hemmed up in these red lines here. But let's just address this. I think, this is in the fourth house, and it could have something to do with real estate, but this has something to do with his career, and somebody's playing hardball with him. Maybe saying something like, I don't care if you don't like this. That's what the Black Moon Lilith is. No, I don't really care, because we're not going to do it. And you're like, oh my God, man. That kind of conversation. But no empathy, no working with you whatsoever. But you know what? Let's make this a little more extreme. Why not? I wish Amber was here, because she'd be on the same page with me. She'd be like, let's flip a card for this one. And I'm going to do that in a second. It looks like this is abusive type of language. At the very least, this is a person that's lying and a person that is very, very mean. So what I would say is between September 15th to October 15th, he had better be careful. This is right after his birthday. He better be careful. There's something happening here. Now, there is a way out. You can see a little blue line here, and I'm actually going to make this a little bit bigger. Oh, we're going to find out where Meghan is. There's a whole, I want to know what you guys think about the video. Of course, the old guard hates it. I liked it. I thought it was good. You want to see them looking like a couple. And here they go, they deliver, and it seemed authentic. It really did. And so now nobody's happy with it. So, it's just stupid and silly. Okay. Thank you, Buckeye Clay fan. I agree. You can always tell when Mercury's in retrograde, because you just look at my hair. So we're back direct. And now I'm going to look at some of the other months, and then we're going to move on to Meghan. And then after that, we're going to look at the Evening Standard, because something's coming up with Black Moon Lilith there. And then we're going to talk about Princess Catherine, what's coming up, and then King Charles. There is some serious stuff happening. Will they be coming to the UK for the Christmas holidays? good question. So what we would do, when you've got like family stuff, like just drama, the holidays make things extra hurtful. It's just like a punch in the gut, And Janie, you say, I think that William and Catherine put the PDA out there to compensate for her sitting on the bench alone earlier when she addressed her cancer. Yeah, I'm suspect. Yeah, and people feel like they were manipulative and that they went too far, but I think they needed to do that. I think people are moving to another subject matter now, which is what they want. But it definitely proves that they keep an eye on what people are saying. And interesting, I'm going to have to pull up that one show where we were talking about her ring and why does she wear Princess Diana's ring? And then suddenly she gets a new ring. I think she listens. I think she does. This to me, now this is his 4th house, his 10th house, and his 1st house. These are serious, serious houses. You got to be careful. You just have to be careful. Definitely check out security. I mean, it could have something to do with a contract, Libra's contract. It's almost like, this guy, whoever it is, you see how we've got Black Moon Lilith here, and then it's trining the chart ruler. So it's sort of like somebody who's got he's got his foot in the whole game, but he's doing something that is naughty. And when I say he, I mean, I think it's Prince Harry's friend. Now he is about to go on a, little trip, I think, with his friends. And I would say to be very careful, be very, very careful, because there is a friend that is not his friend. How will we find this out? Well, we might find it out by way of a leak. There could be sources talking about, what's going on behind the scenes. It could even have something to do with Wounded Warriors types of stuff. Maybe there's some kind of change there in his role. I don't know. But it looks like whatever it is would provoke a lot of anger because of that Mars in Cancer. And that especially the squaring of Black Moon Lilith with the T-square, with the nodes. Something is stuck. And you know what it does? It's like, who's stuck? Like, what do you mean? Well, we've got the nodes in that square. So that's the stuck part. Mars is the 11th house lord. This could be a friend that is stuck in a situation and is battling his way out. Let's see here. We could go from the 11th house, which would be the friend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could have something to do with the friend's job or something like that. I don't know. I mean, yikes. So here's what's really interesting. Sometimes you can tell when an issue is going to be more than a month long. And we've got the ascendant and the 2nd house cusp both in Cancer. So we look to the moon. Now, the good news is that his 8th house is just shining. So there's so much success happening here for him. But in the meantime, it's kind of spoiled because of something this person that he knows is doing in front of him. And he's got to focus on him. He's got to focus on his family, because there's a couple of T-squares here that Prince Harry's dealing with. Notice that Saturn represents his father, but is also Meghan. Meghan is 2 planets this year. She is Saturn, but she's also Venus. And that's really weird because, on the one hand, she's on the other end of this beautiful blue, fortunate grand trine. Like, wow. We don't always have grand trines. Like, God, I don't remember the last year I had a grand trine. So, of course, Prince Harry would probably have one. And this is Meghan on the other end of that. So it looks like they're in harmony. They're working together, creating lots of dreams There's lots of Gemini in there too. Maybe also talking secretly. 12th house, saying a lot of stuff. And whatever they're saying, people are listening. People want to know about it, and they are benefiting from it. Yet here's Meghan up here, and she's at the top of the MC, and there's a fall. So this Mercury in Virgo, I think there's going to be some family issues, stuff where they are going to have to take some time out. They've got a lot of momentum. Everything's going really well, but it just seems like something stops. Now, this past solar return year, which we correctly actually predicted for William, and I was going to put something together for you for that, but I didn't have enough time. We had seen that he would have to stop for a funeral that month. Well, it looks like Prince Harry's going to have to stop a couple of times because of the oppositions. Now, why am I seeing? I'm seeing Meghan here, and she's falling in two different places, the 4th house and the 3rd house. And that can mean something that she's trying to do way up there in the MC, maybe trying to help Harry's career, and it is not helping him. Something is a setback, I think, when it comes to his career. And it could be something that she says. Mercury is in the 3rd house, but Mercury is also kids too, and talking about kids. And it could backfire where, she might be saying something. Mercury is the 4th house. These are things that are way, way behind the scenes. Like, I don't think maybe we'll hear about them, but this has to do with their home. Now, thankfully, I don't see like if we were to see Uranus down here, that would be an earthquake, like a literal earthquake. We've got Uranus over here though. So I think they're okay. God, how many earthquakes is California having right now? There's just one in Malibu. Mercury rules the 4th house of home. Harry's hidden enemy. Maybe somebody who does not like Prince Harry is tussling with Meghan up here, but there's that red line, and this is a fight. And the fight with Meghan, whoever's fighting with Meghan, it looks like it goes between November 15th, because it's the 3rd house, maybe mid-January. It's almost like everything is going smoothly, but then something happens that you're not expecting. When it looks like this, it can affect the family, and there is a bad apple here they're having to deal with, and they are pissed. Oh, okay. Johnny, you want to know why is Meghan Saturn 2? She is the 7th. For any solar return chart, your mate is going to be the 7th house lord. And usually when the 7th house lord is way up at the top, that's really, really good. But it is retrograde. And so this is for some reason she's weak. It's possible that somebody that doesn't like Prince Harry is trying to say something about her. Maybe, 3rd house is communications. So there could be some type of nasty communication that comes out, that maybe attempts to put Meghan in a bad light. That's what I'm going to guess when it comes to a Mercury opposition. It's like a communication brings you down. So what could this communication with Meghan be? I'm going to shuffle the cards, see what we get. Okay. 3 of Cups. So usually when we get 3 of Cups, it has to do with, I think of that godmother's gathering. It's a nice, it's something that has to do with maybe a reunion, a nice event. So it could have something to do with an event. And will this negatively affect Meghan? And this is Harry's chart that we're looking at. This opposition that we're seeing, will it affect Meghan? Getting the Chariot. So she's going to want to get in that Audi and get the heck out of there. So Chariot and Three of Cups. That's pretty interesting. So it's a vehicle of some sort. Might be, I mean, I don't know if it is literally a vehicle. Here's the thing about his chart is that for the most part, it looks phenomenal. And it looks like they are both, because why is Venus Meghan as well? Venus is the traditional wife in a chart. So normally you just look at Venus, but here we have Venus and Saturn. And I think that's the way that the chart shows us that, look, we've got some great stuff here for Meghan, but there's also this other thing. And it helps us figure out, and separate maybe some of the months too. So, hey, Michelle, nice to see you. Chilly in England. Interesting. Is it windy? I remember Amber was talking about wind. And yes, yep, celebration of friends. Thank you, partying and drinking. So I am hoping that doesn't have to do with Prince Harry's little gathering with his friends. He better be careful. Just be careful, Harry. That video of Kate looking very grainy as if filmed years ago. Do we have proof of dated filming? I think that it's probably just a cinematic type of thing, and I was okay with it. I thought it was pretty good. I was thinking maybe Edward helped them with that, but probably not. The other thing too that came from that was that in that very cinematic, slick, as some call it, video of Kate or Princess Catherine and Prince William, is that notice that they were spending time with the grandparents, but Princess Catherine's parents, and not King Charles and Camilla. So, you're always going to have people picking on something, but they want to know, okay, where are the other grandparents, the powerful grandparents, Chariot can be victory, major arcana, so big time. Yeah, so a victory. Yeah, so maybe the problem, it could be a communication. It could, we've talked about this before. Meghan is having some hard times in her chart with Uranus, just people quitting. She wants to fire back and forth. Remember that when you're a Leo, when you have so much Leo energy, which is a fire sign, what's the tagline of a Leo? You're fired. They love to say you're fired. I don't know if that's Meghan. We know a couple of other people that are like that, but yeah, so could be something that has to do with a worker. I don't like Mercury in an opposition because it does mean something small, and I'm hoping it does not mean a human. Yeah, this is Meghan again here, January 15th to February 15th. And we have Chiron up at the top here. So this is, Meghan having some trouble here. I think there might be some pain when it comes to fifth house matters, which is pain is Chiron and an opposition to Venus. This is Venus's Meghan. So there's some kind of Chiron type of energy that's hitting her between January 15th. Thankfully, she's still in this big blue grand trine. So things are being offset. She's going hiking. She twists her ankle. Okay, let me go back to my mansion, and we're going to talk about that podcast with Oprah tomorrow. So that kind of heals everything. But there's still that kind of element there I think she's dealing with. This month with Black Moon Lilith, it's going to get ugly. For some of you asking about the holidays, this is nasty, nasty stuff around the holidays. Like if I were their consultant, I'd say skip this one. Don't even have any plans. Have your own plans. Do not talk to anybody about your plans because it's just going to be this. It's going to be a stressful holiday. You don't want it. Okay, the one other thing I wanted to show you. We're going to get to Meghan in a second, but we've got, now Mars in Cancer. When you have Mars in Cancer, it's somebody who yells, somebody who says stuff. It's abusive. It's somebody who is angry or is seen as angry. And with this trine here to Mercury, okay, this is strange. Let's put this together here. If Meghan is against Mercury, or Mercury is against Meghan because Meghan's up here, and Mars is trining this person, it seems like Meghan's involved with whatever is upsetting Harry here. She is like, absolutely not. We are not including that man. And this would be him. This is the sextile here. The sextile of the third house. This is communications. This is somebody who has communications. And they're like, guess what? I'm going to talk about it. And Meghan, Duchess Meghan says, no, you're not. So, it's not going to happen. So that could be the back and forth, I think. This is Meghan's solar return. She started August 4th. That would be the ascendant starting on August 4th. I've said this before. When you have a solar return and it is in Scorpio, it is very hard because you are seeing scorpionic themes. Sometimes it can be positive on your end where you're getting your way, you know? Isn't it interesting that as soon as Princess Catherine drops her video, it was hours later that Meghan and Harry dropped theirs. So was it on purpose? I'd say that's quite a coincidence. But the scorpionic theme is around you that year. You really want to teach somebody a lesson for whatever they've done to you. I've had this a couple of times, and it is such an intense feeling of wanting to get even, but you don't want karma. So you've got to quell it. It almost feels like when you quell it, you feel like the loser. Like, oh, you weren't brave enough to step up to them. It's just a whole back and forth in your head. It's very intense to have a Scorpio rising for her year. So this is going to go from her birthday, August 4th. And so here is the chart ruler, and the chart ruler is really like taking effect October 4th to November 4th. I skipped November, but there's November there. So, there looks like a lot of things that are happening that are very positive, yet Pluto is opposing the moon. Her chart ruler is opposing the moon. And what represents the moon? The ninth house. So this could be court. It could also be the press. So somebody's getting even on her, or she's getting even with someone in the press. And there is a clash. Wow, is there a clash? Moon in Leo is a bully. So this is, it's probably Pierce. Or it's somebody, Pluto, I'm afraid to say, Pluto's pretty strong, even though it's retrograde. But Pluto in retrograde means a return. When you see return, or when you see retrograde on a planet, that means you're going back and you're going to go and settle a score. Could be her that's doing it, or could be somebody else that's doing it. October 4th to November 4th, Piers Morgan's back in there. Or, there's some real bullies that come up on YouTube. That Meghan lady, woof. These people have some sharp teeth, and it's something that you would have to deal with, unfortunately. Now, with a Pluto or Scorpio rising, they better be careful. They have better be careful. Now, so that's the first thing I see, and that's coming up. That's coming up next month. So we're gonna have to see what that is. But it's something, the ninth house. This is, oh my God, this is something in the news that is, I think, potentially revenge related. Somebody's getting their just dessert. That's for sure. And it's going to have some Leo types of stuff because the moon is in Leo. So, get your popcorn on that one. All right. Now we've got a mystic rectangle for Duchess Meghan. Yeah. Janie, you said Angela 11 does not have anything nice to say about Harry or Meghan. Very nasty. Jan, that's a really good question. Why has William lost so much weight? Yes. Moonstar, you were talking about, I think you were talking about the chariot. It can be moving forward. We're looking at a mystic rectangle in Duchess Meghan's chart. we're in she's in her second house right now. There's some financial themes that are happening for her, and Jupiter is lots of twin stuff for her. Twins. This would be a Netflix month because Sagittarius means Netflix. So there could be some more Netflix themes they're dealing with. I guess. I mean, heck, that was a Netflix. Wasn't there something about Netflix that just came out since September 4th? But Jupiter is in the seventh house. So this not only represents Prince Harry, the seventh house, but it's your employment contracts. And so it's sextiling the moon, Jupiter. So it means a very famous employment contract. It doesn't look like a terrible month to me. The only thing is that the second house Lord, Jupiter, conjunct Mars is kind of fighting about something, being some kind of, being angry about money. Like, guys, you did say 20 million, and it's 12. It's kind of like stuff like that just really piss you off. So I already talked about October 4th to December 4th, although the third house is ruled by Capricorn. So we would look at where Saturn is. And Saturn, that's weird. Saturn is trining her in the fourth house. So Saturn, that's a neighbor. And I wonder if that's somebody like Oprah. Saturn rules the third house, but saying, we can do this, but you're not going to get that much money out of it because there's that square here with her financial house. You see that? So this person is squaring. I know it's kind of dark. Could also be your dad too. Could be a father figure of some sort. And the problem is, and I would not be surprised if between December 4th and January 4th, dad's getting out the old picture, her father. So I hope not. But it does look like there's some kind of access to something that she has. And, there might be some kind of financial element involved. The biggest thing that I see, what's really nice is that, how I was talking about how Pluto is opposing the moon. Well, the moon and the sun here, these are two people. These are two bullies. I'll bet you this is a blonde person. I will bet you. This person who is in the press, it's somebody from the press, is squaring part of fortune. This is somebody who, to some extent, they're getting what they want. Their evil plan here, which is a sextile to Black Moon Lilith, to some extent works, but ultimately they are not successful. So that would be a great example of seeing something in your chart and you're like, oh my God, what is that? And it's like, don't worry about it. They're going to you're going to hate them for a little while, but they are not going to prevail. So, but it does look a little bit hairy there. Interesting how friendships are really important with both of them this year in the 11th house. You got some 11th house stuff. Let's see how she feels about her husband. I mean, why not? 7th house is in Taurus, kind of a little bit in the Algol territory. And we got Venus up here. Eek. What? Whoa. What? I didn't see that before. Okay. So when would this be? This shock is going to be in 2025. And this is going to be August, September, October, November. So this is going to be November, December, January. All right. So February 4th to March 4th. This is something that is broken. This could be a contract that's broken. They might split up for a little while. They might be pissed. There could be something that's happening that she hears that she doesn't like. I mean, I know it's hard to believe because they're a great couple. But there is an upset here. February 4th to March 4th. Yikes, that Uranus. Oh, that's a good point. Happy Valentine's Day. You forgot her chocolate, says Janie Doe. You know what? That's a possibility. And you say, just let go. I say otherwise. What goes around comes around. H&M, live your own life. Yes. TJ, you're saying yikes because you see that Uranus there. It's whoa. And Venus is right on Regulus. Something stops when it comes to, I don't know what, being a prince. There's a quitting. I don't want to be a prince anymore. I'm done. Can you imagine? Or, I mean, my God, that is, none of us like a Uranus square in our solar return chart. And we've had some in the past few years that have been just nightmares. It can mean moving. It can mean wanting to move and you can't. It can mean constant interruptions. And they could be from a very benign type of way where you're working, and every time you sit down to work, now this is a very small Uranus square, like every time you get on a call, the neighbor starts mowing their lawn. Like that's my problem sometimes. And it's just like, come on, like I need it to be stable for a little bit. And that is not stable. Oh, hey, Taurus Moon Tarot. This is something major. This is a break. It's a break. Taking a break. Okay. So what is this Uranus that's in Duchess Meghan's chart? And why is it squaring the symbol that represents Prince Harry? Can I just double check? Wait, that can't be Prince Harry. Yes, it's Prince Harry. It's up there. He's Venus. And there's somebody else up there with him. Okay, let's say it's a member of his family. It's the fifth house lord. So fifth house lord, let's hope it's not another woman, because it could be rumors. It could be rumors about another woman, but it's also maybe something that has to do with his family. And I'm going to say that's what it is. I know, somebody. Okay, so what is this Uranus squaring Harry? Uranus represents upsets, breaks, moves, interruptions, shocks, total shocks. And what's really interesting is usually when something with like a celebrity happens, yeah, I mean, it could be the moon that aspects it, where the public, they all see it. And they're like, oh my God. But it's up there right by the MC, and that's for everybody to see too. So I think what might happen is there could be gossip. So anyway, what is this Uranus square with Prince Harry in Duchess Meghan's solar return chart? We've gotten this before. Oops. Ace of Wands. We've gotten that with Prince William before. Can you give us a clarifier on, it looks like a woman. And this is going to have to do with some kind of interruption. Somebody doesn't like somebody else. I'll tell you that. Oh, and while I'm shuffling, if you like this show, please hit the like button. Thank you so much. And it also helps me if you share some of these revelations. Helps the algorithm. All right. Now, clarification card on what this Uranus break is all about. 5 of Cups. So there's some kind of decision that needs to be made. Maybe regrets. I don't know. Does that have to do with a hole in the backyard? Maybe that's what it is. They don't, they're having an argument about something. I'll tell you that. And that is going to be February 4th to March 4th. So here's the good news about it, though. Her rising sign trines Uranus. So there seems to be some kind of understanding when it comes to this upset. She might actually be helping him. It could just be Prince Harry related, and she's helping somehow. Do you see what I'm looking at? So she's here, and there's a trine to Uranus. This is something very fast. This is communications, this is fast communications. I think this is more video. More video coming out. Probably, I'm going to say between December 4th and January 4th. This is kind of confusing. I'm going to fix it. This is December. That's January. And hopefully you guys know how to do this with your own solar return charts. Every, on the day of your birth, that's going to change the house. So sometimes, if you were born on the 13th, today might be a good day for you because the energy is changing. It's always nice. It's going to be November 4th. And, ruh-roh. Look what I saw. The fourth house, and I think I've said this before, the fourth house is in Aquarius. This looks like a move to me. This looks like a move. Can you guys see that? Yeah, so when you have your fourth house in your solar return, and it is in Aquarius, it means something's changing at the house. This is a big year for them. When you have Uranus, or when you have Aquarius on a cardinal house, buckle up because this is going to be a big change. So it looks like they need to move. Why? All right, now it's time for the cards again. Why do why does Duchess Meghan and Prince Harry, why do they need to move? That's what this chart's telling me. Janie, you said maybe something his frenemy put out there. Yeah, I'm thinking that. Plan of action or feeling unloved or an abandonment. I think they'll be able to stick it out. But he looks like he's in shock about something. And I think it has to do with their living situation. Can you give us some kind of card that has to do with Meghan and Harry's living situation? And it's coming up. It's going to be coming up at the end of the year. Why are they going to have to move? 10 of Wands. That looks like picking up your crap and going. Not that they have any crap, but that's like, you know what? We're dumping it. Just dump it. Just forget it. That could be maybe they're house hunting now in the UK and they're like, no, I'm not staying here. Forget it. But it certainly does look like it's a shock. It's a shock. Like, I thought I was going to get this and I thought we were going to go this way, but we can't. Can you give us a clarifier card on Meghan and Harry having to move? King Charles. Like, what does he have to do with anything that they're doing now? Now, we already know that Prince Harry won his case when it comes to his green card or whatever. He's on diplomatic status. It could have something to do with that, where they're still working behind the scenes. Let's let him have it for now. But in a few months, this is what we're going to do. But it looks like an upheaval with his family, with Prince Harry's family. Thank you, Lucy. Nice to see you. yeah, I finally found a good person. It took me a long time. Sometimes when you just give up for a few years, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep going. Keep trying. You have to keep trying. And I'm still in the middle of that kind of theme with some other parts of my life too. Just looking for the best, best option, like anybody. Like my car the other day, I wanted to get it detailed, $160 to get it shampooed. It took me like an hour going around the city because I didn't want to pay that money. I found a place that did it for $40. So it just takes a little tenacity sometimes. Kick your ass and maybe you will see results. Kick your own ass. All right, so I'm going to put this back in here. Let's see, any other questions that we should ask? I mean, I've got a whole lot of questions. Okay, how is King Charles going to get into this equation with them moving? Now, Aquarius in the fourth house often means moving, but it can mean a shock to the home, a shock to the foundation. I hope they don't have to move because, that could be an earthquake. I said it earlier that it probably isn't because I was looking at his chart, but now that I'm looking at her chart, it could be something where there is not any possible. Is this an earthquake? I'm going to ask. Is Meghan and Harry, they're going to have to deal with an earthquake this year? Ace of Cups. Can you clarify that? Is an Ace of Cups a good thing, but it's a yes card? Can you tell us more about if they're going to have to move because of an earthquake? The Fool reversed. So, that's a fortune card. Something's cooking. Something is cooking with Prince Harry and Meghan. It's going to be, and what's so weird is that there's so much success, so much fame, so much money. It's like, it's a dream. It's a dream trine there, and grand trine. Yet there are these little peripheral, whoopsies that, they're like hoops you got to jump through. Isn't that life? Let's see. Law said, I saw on William and Kate's chart that there was a family upheaval early 2025. So maybe it's the death of the father. It's possible. Law, or they could get a house in the UK, Frogmore Cottage back. It seems like she's okay with it, but he is not. He's like, no way. And she's like, we got 2 million in it. It's possible. Now, isn't it funny that Frog is Leo? You see it all the time. Like, O.J. Simpson, a Leo, or lots of Leo energy. And around the time that Nicole Brown Simpson was murdered, so much Leo was there. And at the time, I believe, of the murders, he was filming Frogmen. So for some reason you see Frogmore, there's frog themes. Don't ask me. Or maybe Charles steps down early 2025 and everything changes. That's possible. That would make a move if they suddenly needed Prince Harry's help. So, and it seems like she's like, okay, let's do it. Which right now you could not picture that. Okay. Now, so yeah, that's going to probably, that's November 1st. November 1st, it seems like this is when the Aquarius energy begins, and that Uranus there's a little octile there to North Node. It's like a poor aspect. So this is extreme. Like we thought Uranus was like big in this chart. Well, you add North Node to it and you're pouring gasoline on it. This is like you're backed up into a corner. It's a big change. All right. So I've made my point. Just one thing I want to look at. We are looking at the solar return sometimes at the Evening Standard. And so this is we look at the month for the Evening Standard because we want to know what's being reported on. It kind of shows us what's going on in the news. We have, where are we right now? We would look at June, July, August, September, and this is September 11th. So this just started their fourth house. All right. This is the newspaper's fourth house. We got Black Moon Lilith. And so it seems like there could be reporting on something that has to do with, Neptune is Putin. So this could be lots of Putin headlines. It's a fraud. It is a famous fraud because the moon is trining this Neptune. Looks like a bad person falls. So someone falls this month. This is going to be September 11th to October 11th. Who is going to fall? Could be a nurse, could be a doctor. It could be someone with the name Waters or Fisher. It could be a government official. Some type of government fraud is being reported on. Surprise, surprise, right? All right. Now here's Princess Catherine. Venus rules her chart. And we are looking at the top. You see how I highlighted the 9th and the 10th house. This is where we are right now. Makes total sense because the 9th house is the media. Gemini is being on television, dropping a video. And so you would say January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September 9th. Right on schedule. September 9th is when she dropped her video, and then October 9th. So this is going to be an intercepted house. Intercepted house meaning she's going to get two kind of flavors this month. For the most part, there's going to be a lot of talk about that video. Getting on the phone. I know. We shouldn't have hugged and kissed. I know. We think it's good for the kids. Nobody heard the kid's voice before. It's like constant communications about that video. And then it changes to the intercepted house over here, and it's Cancer. So then the moon back in the 3rd house. Ugh. Conjunct Mars fighting. The twins fight again. And we got a square to Neptune. So more fakery or fighting fakery coming up. We saw this before with, and we predicted this too, Amber. We were talking about financial fraud. We were talking about what's the deal with Keir Starmer and Prince William. Well, there was some deep fake of Keir Starmer and Prince William trying to get money from people, saying that, we're trying to raise money. So that was one of the things that they dealt with that Neptune there. But now that the moon is coming in here, it's kind of like a repeat of what she's already had to deal with before. And I think it's more crazy town. It was that really her? And and I say crazy town because people, it's not just a question anymore. It's a absolute obsession. They can't sleep. And so I think that might be coming in a little bit. Well, it'll be very interesting to see how that's going to play out there. More Prince Harry stuff, more sister, sibling communications, neighbors. Do they have neighbors? I don't know. But then we've got October 9th to November 9th. And November 9th to December 9th. That's when the Black Moon Lilith comes in. We're going to see who that is. Watch your back. Another friend. Weird how Princess Catherine is having to deal with a bad friend this year. And so is Harry. So they've got a lot of things in common, I think, as far as, the same troubles. All right. So here's King Charles, the one we've all been waiting for. I'm going to look. You know what? Moon. Before I do that, I'm going to pull some cards for Princess Catherine. Buckeye Clayfin. I have felt that Charles will not rule very long, and Wills will be a reluctant king. Blue Fire and Copper. Hi, Val. I heard early in January possible war, the same transit of 1939. I could be wrong. Mm-hmm. Buckeye, you say, I don't think Charles will step down. And that is in response to law. Maybe Charles steps down early 2025 and everything changes. Mm-hmm. Ugh. All right. Well, yeah. So let's look at a card for Princess Catherine. We're seeing something come up, and it's kind of like you sort of have to gauge what the date is. Like right now, this is September 9th. That starts September 9th. That's when she dropped her video, which would be Gemini, where she's talking, and the whole world knows about it because the press, it's all the press can talk about. Mercury's down here. It's funny how Mercury and Moon are kind of in the same spot, so it's sort of the same energy. And, and then this Moon or Cancer comes in. This could be something about her health again. Is there going to be... See, the problem with Princess Catherine is, you notice how the sun is very important in your solar return chart. The sun is your vitality, your ego. You've got to feel good in order to do stuff, in order to be productive. And what's happening with her, the sun is squaring the nodes, which means she feels stuck. And where does she feel stuck? She feels stuck at home. And so she's going to be happy when this solar return is over on her birthday. Still got a little ways to go. Lots and lots of royal and regal and king energy, I think. And that's going to be coming up November 9th to December 9th. Could just be holiday plans at the palace. Do they say castle or do they just say palace? I think they just say palace, but the sun down there, she's kind of stuck. But not all the time, not all the time. Now let's see what is going on with Princess Catherine and her health for the rest of the year. How about that? I think there's a possibility she might have a couple of setbacks. That's just my thinking because the chart. What's going to happen with Princess Catherine's health between now and the end of the calendar year? Reverse King of Cups. This is Charles. So now we also talked about her health. I asked him about her health. So could be her health is, declining a little bit, but I think it might be stress because of father. So let's ask the cards after I look at King Charles's. God. So September, October, November, December. It's like 3.5 months. In the next 3.5 months, something's happening with the king. All right, now we're getting to King Charles here. I'm glad you guys are with me. Otherwise, it would be a boring Friday. All right, so we've got King Charles, his solar return. This is, oh God, I can't remember when his birthday is. November. Okay, right. And this is 2023. So we are talking, so this is September. And the 12th house is October. So we want to look at the moon on the 14th. So tomorrow he starts his 11th house. And that's when the moon, yikes, takes effect. And this might not be his health necessarily because we've got a trine to Chiron. So this can be good. This can be good for your health, but there's a square here. And this is Black Moon Lilith, and often that can show disease. So it seems as if he is battling something. I mean, between tomorrow, September 14th, and October 14th, he's talking more about the disease, it looks like, because the third house is communications. And remember, when was the third house activated, guys? This is November 14th, December, January 14th. This is around February. So he was talking about something, wasn't he? In February? Wasn't it February? So that he might be coming out and trying to talk about something that is related to his health again. And then this is the big one, the 12th house for King Charles. And that's actually the sun is here in the third house. Trining Neptune. It's opposing Uranus. So this is a change of some sort. It just shows a change. It shows a change in the leadership, I think. Another change. So we'll see what that is. Let's draw a card as to what the change is with King Charles. And Janie, you said King of Cups is unreliability. So maybe Princess Catherine cannot count on King Charles' support. Yeah. Thanks, Karen. Thanks, Law. I know, TJ. You have to ask a question. I need to know you're still here. Janie, rumor she's supposed to host her show this Christmas. That's right. Law, you say February and March 2025. Can you look at February for Charles and Catherine too? Let's see. I think I'm going to have to do that the next one because I'm losing my voice. I think it's a good idea because I have to redraw the charts. Now, here we go. Here's the cards for King Charles. Is he going to step down between now and the end of this calendar year? Judgment. And can you give us a clarifying card? Looks like yes. Or maybe he's going to be judged. There's stepping down energy this year with Biden and leaders and kings, So it would not surprise me. King Charles, is he going to decide to change the leadership? Will Prince William be king in early 2025? Ace of Cups. Looks like it. Looks like it's going to happen. I mean, Charles looks good to me right now. He's smiling, he's hosting things. So it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that would happen. You'd think that with all the care that he's getting, high level care, that he should be good. But what are these cards telling us? What are these charts telling us? I just read them. I don't know why they say these things. So, Margaret, you say they need to move because everyone knows where they live. That is a possibility. So I think that what's happening with Prince Harry is that, with all of this stuff that's happening, they might, Prince Harry is completely shocked, out of his mind in Meghan's solar return chart. So, thankfully she's there to help him. But yeah, King Charles, or are you talking about Prince William? Probably Prince William. He lost weight due to familial stress and hidden anxiety. Yeah. Jane, you said the truth comes out. That's the judgment card If he steps down and William steps in, it's because he's very sick. And Janie said, if King Charles steps down and William steps in, that will be Harry's nemesis. Oh, you're right. God, it's tough. It's going to be tough. So thanks for liking and subscribing. And next week, we hope to have Amber back on. And I'm interested in some of her thoughts about some of these cards. So we're going to talk about that too. And I will be on this weekend for some true crime programming. I'm not sure I'm going to be on tonight since I kind of went over. But thanks, Natalie. Glad you could join us. And we'll see you next Friday. Have a good week.